This is insult, disgrace. Hear what this man said, President of France, Emmanuel Macron, that Africa are not strong enough, they are not matured enough to rule themselves. That's why he refused to leave Niger upon all the threatening, the ultimatum when the junta in Niger give them to leave their country. He said no, they leave. This is the reason why he said no, they leave. He said Africa are not strong enough, they can't rule themselves. That's why he is, oh God, this is insult, disgrace. So that's why they are helping Africa to rule them. Africa cannot rule themselves. If not, they would have solved the problem of insecurity. If not, there would have been no poverty in Africa, no children, people suffering in Africa, because they can't rule themselves, because they don't value what they have. That's why they are helping them. If I hear everything you talk, just listen.
La souveraineté, ni militaire, ni sécuritaire, ni administrative de votre pays. C'est aussi une réalité. Il ne faut pas chercher des coupables à l'extérieur de cette affaire.
Macron shifting the blame to Africans on why they intervene in their affairs, that Africans are not capable of ruling themselves, that they can't even solve security challenges, their military are ill-equipped, even administrative issues, they can't handle them. You can feel a bit of arrogance from the way Macron says this, as if they are blameless in the whole situation. Despite France being partly responsible, he's still right. It takes two to tango. In another statement, he accepted that they have an interest to protect in Africa.
Nous avons des intérêts à défendre. Et je pense que quand on parle d'Afrique, il faut le dire clairement, parce que ça va beaucoup mieux en le disant. On dit pas on arrive chez vous parce qu'on va faire le bien chez vous à votre place, parce que vous n'êtes pas capable de savoir ce qui est bon pour vous, de le penser ou de le faire. Non, on vient défendre nos intérêts.
Whether you like Macron or not, whether people continue blaming foreigners for our problems, if there's no willing seller, there won't be a willing buyer. If there's no corrupt leader stealing his country blind, there won't be a willing bank that will help him to launder the money in a foreign country. Yes, that's how it starts. You have a corrupt African leader. He will steal money, pack that money in cash and travel with it. He has a diplomatic passport. Not that they don't search them, but why will you search someone who you know that is bringing foreign direct investment in cash to your country? Who does that? They are aware that these people carry these monies in cash to their country. When they come to their country, they will find a bank where they will deposit that money into, and they will use it to buy properties. They are aware of all this. So when they see such a leader openly committing crime, stealing their people's money, what will they do? They already have a bargaining chip. They will tell him openly, hey, this is what we want. Do it. Or do you want the opposition in your country to know you laundered money? And the leader will say, no. What do you want? And he will just sign away his country without any recourse, just to protect his stolen money. This is how it works. This is exactly what France is doing. If they don't have collaborators willing to sell off their country for peanuts, they won't be doing what they're doing in Africa. That's why there are many deals that people are now realizing that is not favorable to their country. Some of these deals are related to French mining companies that mine resources. You have French companies that operate seaports in West Africa. Some of them manage other companies in Francophone countries. How did they get all these deals? Not that it is bad to manage a company, but did they face any competitive bidding before they signed the deal? Yes, many might find it condescending what Macron said, that Africans can't lead themselves. Did he lie? He didn't. Isn't it shameful? Look at Africa. It's shameful that after 60-something years, many of us are still blaming foreigners and colonialists for our problems. Look at Asian countries. All of us had independence almost the same time, but we are now the ones going to their countries to import goods to come and sell in Africa. Isn't that shameful? Countries we started a race with, they have left us behind. Some of them are no longer referred to as third world countries. They are now either second world or first world countries. We are still referred to as third world. Some African countries don't even qualify for third world. If there is something below that, maybe that's where they will be classified. We simply cannot continue blaming others for our problems. Look at Libya. It's a pity what happened there recently. Granted, the origin of the problem in Libya was caused by France under Sarkozy, but they can't continue blaming them forever. How long ago did it happen? They have the power now to stop fighting themselves and rebuild their country for the better. But they choose to apportion blame and continue harming each other at the detriment of their country. The same thing is happening in Sudan. Brothers against brothers. Why not make peace and rebuild your country? So why we blame foreign powers who meddle in the affairs of Africans? Let's not forget to blame their enablers in Africa. And those their enablers are our own brothers who willfully steal monies that belong to their people and launder them abroad. And in order to hide this loot, they will be willing to do anything to hide it. That's exactly what is going on. So France and other foreign powers are just taking advantage. In fact, theirs is even better because they are taking that advantage for their own people, for the betterment of their people. Why these African leaders only launder the money for their families. Look at what happened in Gabon. All the money and properties they've traced to the Bongo family are all in their name, not the name of the people of Gabon. If Africans are able to rebuild their countries and take full advantage of their natural resources, build industries and create jobs, they will earn the respect of the world. But if we continue blaming others, we will never achieve much. Others have left us behind. Now, how can Africans rebuild their economies for the better? First of all, most African countries have a leadership problem. They need to solve that problem in order to make a headway. That's why you see many military coups, especially in Francophone countries of recent. Not that military coups solve the problem, but it's a cause and effect. If people operating in a democracy refuses to allow free and fair election, they rig elections, rig everything to continue staying in power. They make military coup inevitable. So it's a first step. Maybe when they conduct election, the most popular candidate will emerge. It is very important because there's a reason one person is more popular than others. Maybe he's smarter, he knows his onions, or maybe he's just a good orator that can convince people. But it is very important because if the most popular candidate emerges, he is most likely to perform wonders in his country. That's a fact. Look at all the elections that have been conducted in Africa of recent, even in foreign countries. The most popular candidates always perform wonders in office. Unlike people who force themselves to power, people who rig elections, you can't win the people that way. Also, it doesn't make sense that one will want to rig an election in order to serve the people. You can't steal from the people and say you want to save them. That's why people who come to power this way end up not doing anything. In fact, they end up taking their country backwards, worse than they met it. So good leadership is essential in order to give a country a direction. Likewise, good followership, it is equally essential. If you're a citizen of a country and you're not law-abiding, you're not helping your country. Now, a good leader should know what is best for his country. He should be able to find solutions within. China did it at a time that was in the 70s and 60s. They blocked all imports to their country. In those days, they would just get one sample of a product and reverse engineer the product to the extent that they will mass produce it. That was how China started. Today, they are the world's factory. So imagine African countries harnessing their natural resources. They can start by learning mining technology so that they can mine the natural resources themselves. They can also develop dependent industries that will process these mined resources so as to create more jobs and develop their economy. Instead of exporting natural resources in raw form, they will now be exporting finished products. Most of these finished products are not even hard to manufacture. It's just that people don't have the technical know-how, which the leadership can help them to acquire by setting up exchange programs with countries that already know how to manufacture these products. All these are achievable for people that are determined. Now, coming to the type of government, some people are particular about the type of government that African countries should practice. It doesn't matter, whatever you call it. The most important thing that matters is that the type of government a country must operate must guarantee free speech and freedom of expression. It must guarantee an independent judiciary. It must also guarantee the right of citizens to protest and hold their government accountable. It must guarantee free and fair elections. These are the most important things. Forget about name that you attach to the type of government you're operating. If that type of government doesn't guarantee all these, then it can never serve the people. It might be serving only the elites, or the leader might even turn to a dictator. So it is very important that we start now, not tomorrow, to rebuild our economy so that we can truly emancipate ourselves. Thanks for watching.